Good afternoon and happy Friday. Today is Build Day. Hopefully you guys are well rested and excited as we are entering into the weekend after today's work day. Of course, that means nothing because we're going to continue to work through the weekend regardless, because ultimately, what is a weekday versus a weekend? Bitcoin right now sitting just shy of $98,000 per coin. Absolutely gorgeous to see this rally continue onwards. Not quite at the $100,000 mark, which means I do not need to break down and pop, drop, and lock it on live stream. Thank the Lord, there is a God. Bill, currently speaking, up marginally at around 7% on the day. You can see it is NA right now. Maybe if I refresh it, you'll see. Unless we rolled over, no. It's just not showing, but we're up marginally here on Bill today, which is exciting. Today, we're going to go through some of the news that Bill wanted us to cover, and then I was thinking we would go through the embedding process for the news so that you guys could understand how it is that Bill is understanding what's going on in the world. So I finished up the build for the news yesterday. Finishing touches. I had to deploy some canisters and create some apps that I could use online because the video embedding was too much for the servers. We have a special guest here today. It is a small orange cat who does not want to be held. His name is Bear. Yeah, I got a perma bear in the house. I know. Sit down, buddy. Sit down. There you go. Very exciting. All right, let's get into some of the news, and then, like I said, we will get into the embedding process for that news. What's going on, Stair? How's it going, Beagle? What's good, David? Welcome in, Solus. Bill to 100. WWWW. Good morning, Pat Thick. Mods! Mods! Get Zach out of here. Mods! I am not Pat Thick. Sorry, the cat's distracting me. He's just a baby. Very cute cat. Yes, adorable cat. Adorable. Some might say the most adorable. All right, so Bitcoin's holding up nice. One thing that you guys probably noticed is that Bitcoin dominance, more importantly, is holding up violently. We are breaking two cycle highs day after day after day. I do not know when it will stop, but it will stop. And if you guys remember, the times that we have made the most amount of money is when dominance is trending down. So in 23, we made a ton of money at the end of the year when dominance started entering this down channel. And in 24, we made a ton of money at the end of the year when dominance fell off a cliff. That is because we're altcoin heavy. Now, hopefully we don't have to wait till the end of the year for dominance to start falling again. However, it is already halfway through the year, so maybe we do. Who knows? Whenever it is that dominance, I think, breaks this trend line here, I believe that we will start to see some aggressive altcoin action. Ultimately, what we need to see is just a sideways movement for dominance or a breakdown for dominance. Right now it is going up, and that is because it is Bitcoin's show, and I think that's a healthy market. As long as Bitcoin is below its all-time highs, I would expect for dominance to continue to be trucking up higher. First thing up for DeSci news. Number one, we are excited to report the latest updates from NISO Overia, our partnership with Hacking Aging. Overia is the intellectual property token governing the research and development to identify this new drug target. Check out the news below and stay tuned for upcoming community call. So unfortunately, when Bill gives me news, he does not give me the full link to the thread. He only gives me the link to that one news that he wants me to talk about. So far, trained a menopause risk module for UK biobank data to identify those at high risk, performed a GWAS to identify novel targets for ovarian aging, and recently received feedback from the advisors. One step closer to new drugs to deploy for ovarian aging. So this one specifically works on inflammation in the ovaries, so it is, more broadly speaking, an inflammatory drug. Now, if you know anything about disease, most of the damage that comes is from the inflammation in the body. Next up, and we're going to rapid fire these, we got some news out of Quant Bond. Haven't heard from them in quite some time, but Bill decided that it was an appropriate time to bring up this news from yesterday. We're thrilled to announce that Quant Bond will be participating in the QSEC DEF International Incubator Program. It's a global initiative connecting cutting-edge quantum startups with the biggest names in post-quantum cryptography. So hell yeah. Honestly, at first I was a little bit nervous that Quant Bond was just a meme, but it turns out it is becoming more and more of a serious project as this bear market has continued. So I want to go ahead and view the chart because I'm pretty sure this thing is sub $1 million right now. Yeah, market cap $210,000 per token. It had that gorgeous time in which it was pumping, and it is basically dead right now. So if you think that it's going to turn into something, or if you believe that we have, more importantly, a quantum focused rally at some point in this cycle, which I tend to believe we will, then Quant Bond will likely pump. This will likely be something that has at least a big relief rally. I think it's got a good potential to break all-time highs if we get into that euphoric market again, which would represent a 10,000% gain. Definitely a gamble, but seems to be semi-worthwhile. Let's go back and read some of what they're talking about. May 14th, Not alongside other quantum initiatives will be pitched to an elite panel of cryptography leaders from big tech, government, and academia. This is a major opportunity to showcase our vision for quantum secure infrastructure and gain strategic backing from some of the sharpest minds in the space. Here's more information about the event. So if you think that quantum becomes something that people care about this cycle, then this will probably pop off. It is not one of the major players, but it is a micro cap. Mudo Labs game winners. Big thanks to everyone who participated in the new lab game. Our testnet worked perfectly, leveraging 1,600 daily transactions. More info on the new period will follow later. But they gave out rewards, so definitely come check your wallet against some of these rewards to see if you won $400, $150, $400 or $150. Definitely go check it out and see. Small pool of people who participated, I imagine, so good chance that one of you guys did win. Then for news from Poseidon DAO, and again, I am rapid firing through these so we can get to the build. But Ayat, one of the co-founders of Poseidon DAO, just received her PhD yesterday. Now this was 2 days ago, so we love to see it. Congrats to Ayat and congrats to Poseidon DAO now having another PhD on the team. W's in the chat for Poseidon DAO. What's going on, Mr. Pumpalot? Welcome into the live stream. W. Next up, we have Long COVID Labs. So spotlight on LC Labs at DeSci Dubai. So this is a lot of text and there is a video here. No, come on, don't step on the keyboard, buddy. You gotta lie down. You gotta lie down. Good boy. So, a lot of reading, a lot of sweats to go over this. So, I think we will just save it for Bill. We might be able to have Bill do it, although I don't think he's embedded this one yet. But essentially, this was a wrap up for Long COVID Labs. So the goal here, the idea here, is that we could read through this if we wanted to, or we could just ask Bill for a summary of the post. Now, he's not going to be able to give a summary right now, and I know that because I know that he has not actually embedded this news yet, but later today he should be good to go. Do you mind? That is literally the all right, you gotta go. Dude started chewing on the microphone wire so that I would lose speaking privileges. You stay right there, buddy. Little rat. And then we got the post from BioProtocol, friendly reminder. If you're following our mission, you should be following this too, the BioProtocol ecosystem. So they have a very small amount of followers here. You got a cat. We got 3 cats in this house, Mr. Pumpalot, and a Doge. We got a Doge, currently replaying the Good Boy a couple of times because my parents didn't love me. No. R.I.P. Stare. R.I.P. I'm sure they love you, just in a weird roundabout way. But BioProtocol, almost, yeah, oh shit, they just hit 100,000 followers. Let's go. Big shout out to BioProtocol, reaching that 100,000 follower threshold. They've been teetering back and forth for quite some time now. I believe that they keep hitting 100,000, then following a little bit, and then hitting 100,000, then falling a little bit because of the bots. But W. Love to see it. And then we got the Bio monthly highlights, April 2025. So Bio agent Eliza OS plugin. So their goal in Bio is to create 1 million AI agents based off the Eliza framework in order to scour the internet for potential research and potential studies that they could actually help create. And so funding opportunities essentially to help some of the Bio DAOs with these Bio agents. So I love to see it. I think it's a good idea, and it is something that I had talked to them about a little bit, but not too much, and I'm excited to see that they're pushing forward with it dramatically. So I think that is a big task what they're trying to do, and I think that currently, in my opinion, it's really going to be hard for them to create the agents that are actually going to be productive. And what I mean by that is that the Eliza OS framework right now is mostly for conversational models. And so taking the Eliza OS framework and plugging in the extra science capabilities is something that's probably going to be a little difficult. The cat is the cult leader now. Yeah. You hear that, bear? Are you guys willing to follow a bear? Go ahead and purr into the mic. You heard him here first. But still, it is a good mission that I think they'll be able to manage. I think they'll be able to pull it off. It's just going to take a little bit of time. And we got something from Data Lake, something that we have not been seeing lately that we've been asking to see from them. So I'm excited. Data Lake token just posted a podcast with Adam Draper from Boost VC. Is it potentially something in the works? Maybe, maybe not. It could also just be that they're talking about DeSci because we know Adam Draper is a huge DeSci advocate. So love to see this. We got M Goes from Biohacker and it's posted on Data Lake's page. So this is exciting. I will be listening to the entire episode. Also, I'm going to unlike it so that I can like it again. Just to remind you guys that we go live Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to talk about decentralized science and the broader crypto markets. Please like the live stream if you enjoy the content. And we got Axon DAO with the Town Hall Live. And finally, Dynex with the new mobile wallets. So you can sign up for Dynex's wallet here. I'm going to go ahead and copy this, paste her on in here into the chat. You guys can sign up for the beta of the Dynex mobile wallet if you want to. All right. Any questions from you, ladies and gentlemen? Any questions before we move on to the meat and potatoes of the live stream? Psy to 50, Bill to 5. Hell yeah. Bill to $5. Oh, he's no longer listed because there's no trading volume in the last 24 hours, even though there was. But Psy to $50, hell yeah, I'm here for it. I really am here for it. It looks like it's starting to break out a little bit, so I think that they are about to have a pretty big surge in price action. I do believe that this is coming. I don't know how high it's going to go, but I do think we'll break above a dollar and hold on to there for a little bit, especially as Bitcoin continues to truck higher. The market is turning around quite substantially, and so a lot of these altcoins built on top of altcoins, ERC20 tokens, I think they will have a nice leg here, especially as Ethereum is attempting to break above the $1,900 resistance that I've drawn on the chart from a while ago. So we will see. We will see. Let's go ahead and minimize out of that, and let's go ahead and come here and let's showcase the embedding model for Bill. So this is something that I built because the current infrastructure that is out there doesn't exist for me to embed DeSci news into something for AI agents. So I had to go make it. Let's see. Here it is. Okay. I hope we get at least half of Patrick's price predictions. Me too, Beagle. Me too. We'll all be sitting very pretty if we get that. All right, so I'm gonna show it one stage at a time here because this is quite overwhelming to look at. Can I get a show of hands? How many of you guys have heard of N8N? How many of you guys have heard of make.com? How many of you guys have heard of Zapier? I'm sure you guys have heard of Zapier before, but N8N and make.com are kind of Zappiers on steroids. How many of you guys have heard of them? Can I get some ones in the chat? Por favor, senors. China offers to address U.S. fentanyl concerns to revive trade talks. Damn, okay. All right. Looks like negotiations are going to be working here. 0, 0. Okay. Well, this will be good then. This will be really good. Before we get into it anymore, I do want to remind everyone, or at least you've told us about N8N. Yes, it's super powerful, dude. Guys, it is incredibly powerful, especially if you want to play around in this AI space and you don't have the same technical capabilities to just code and fine tune and locally host models, and you want to be participating in the space. I recommend that you learn N8N, and we can talk about it, and I'd be more than happy to go over stuff with you guys and kind of show you what I've learned so far. But oh, I think Atlanta Fed US GDP estimates. I wanted to show you guys before we get into it, Atlanta Fed. So how do I say this? You know how we just got a negative GDP reading for Q1 of 2025? Most of the economists right now are starting to predict that Q2 will actually be a positive GDP reading. You can see this right here. So we just had negative GDP last quarter. A lot of people are expecting that we will get a positive GDP for Q2, meaning we will have narrowly missed the traditional recession, right? But then they're starting to think that Q3 will get a recession indications. We'll start entering into it. I just wanted to highlight that to you guys, that some of the predictions for Q2 GDP are positive once again. That has to do with the trade deficit stuff. And it's very technical, but the way that they get GDP is by taking GDP and then subtracting the imports. And so if you don't have any imports, there's nothing to subtract. And so GDP can look artificially high because they're not subtracting the import data. Does that make sense to you guys? There's a lot more of nuance that goes into it. But if we no longer are importing anything from China, we no longer have that imports to subtract from the GDP numbers, so that we end up getting a positive GDP. And the Doge just walked in, and the kitty cat is scared AF. Okay. Let me close the door, and then we'll get into the build. You scared from the storm, so? Yeah? You want me to pick you up and show you to the camera? No. Definitely not. 70-pound dog probably doesn't want to be picked up. Okay. Let's go ahead and showcase the build. Bam. All right, so hopefully I'm not showing any sensitive data here. I don't think I am, so we should be good to go with this. Let's see, yeah, okay. So this is N8N. Now, what N8N is a series of nodes, which are, you can think of them as small code packets, right? And so this first node here is a trigger node, and that's how you test different workflows. And so what you're creating in N8N and Make and Zapier are automation workflows, okay? So you start off with this trigger node, and then you go in and you tell the system what you want it to do. It's a low code / no code environment so that you can still test around with AI. What I'm doing here, good morning C90. Hey, Soph, you're very loud. I know you're terrified of the storm though. So I'm sorry guys, I'm sorry, but she's absolutely terrified. What this does is it goes into an Airtable database, and it goes ahead and fetches a list of all DeSci projects that I've created on that Airtable database. And then it goes and it loops through each one of those items. And so I'll show you guys this example, okay? So it goes in and it fetches a list of DeSci projects, and then it goes through a loop. And what it does is it fetches all of the posts on those projects, and it goes around in a loop. And I might as well just show you all the way until the code node here. because what it's going to do is pull a list of the 27 DeSci projects that I keep an eye on, and then it loops through all of them and collects all of the news over a set period of time. Right now, it's collecting every post that has been made over the last week. So there were nearly 1,000 posts between those 27 projects over the last week. And then I go through and I created a custom code node here, which will erase any duplicates that are in this data set, because sometimes if somebody retweets something or quote tweets it, it will duplicate that item. Good morning, Stephen. If somebody retweets or quote tweets a post, it will duplicate that item. And so I'm just removing retweets and quote tweets essentially. And then what we have going on, and this is where we get into the majority of the meat and potatoes for this build specifically. You ready for this? It's going to look a little bit overwhelming, especially if you've never seen N8N before. But I have it go through and sort out I sort out each of these posts based off of the content that is present in each post, right? And so remember how I was complaining earlier that you can't pull spaces or articles off of X. They don't want you to take the data out of X. And so what I did is I created a node here which will sort through all of those items and look for any articles. So in the last week, only one article was posted, right? And so it loops through and it grabs that article. And then it is going to email it to me so that I can copy the text for it, right? It's a manual thing and it's annoying AF, and I hope that one day I can gain access to the APIs to be able to pull the articles out, but right now it's against X's terms and conditions. And so I have to do it manually, which is fine. I'm happy to do that. It's one small step. This entire workflow, by the way, would be considered a tool for Bill to use. So as I finish up this workflow, Bill will gain access to it as a tool to be able to embed news as he sees fit. Next up, it pulls out all spaces, right? And so I don't want to test these because it's going to queue for this loop to go through, and it's going to email me that article so that I can do that embedding. But we'll go over kind of the embedding process. So for spaces, it's going to actually, let's go through the pictures, because pictures it can do, and it works nicely. So this node here will take whatever news items are left after articles and spaces have been pulled out of it, and it will take and pull out any picture, any JPEG or PNG. You can go look and see that if it ends in JPEG or it ends in PNG, it will be pulled into this loop. And one at a time, what it will do is feed that picture into an OpenAI model, right? JSON media URL. It will feed that picture and simply ask, what's in this image? And I will get a description of what is in the image sent back to me, where I will then upload it back to the Airtable. So I have a description of the image embedded into the news next to each Airtable item. Airtable is just like a massive Google Sheets. And then it will put it into this Pinecone vector store. So Pinecone is a database. It's like a very advanced version of Excel that you can use to create databases and knowledge bases for AI models. So I'm using OpenAI's text embedding 3 small model, which is a way that it will take data. And remember how we talked about those vector stores? It takes that data and it puts it into a multi-dimensional space, right? It'd be best if I could draw it out for you guys, but essentially it creates, you know how if you have an X and a Y axis, and I've gone over it a bunch, so I won't go in super detail, but if you have an X and a Y axis on a graph, you have 2-dimensional points to it. If you add the Z axis, you now have 3-dimensional points to it, right? And so it's a way that you can graph in dimensional space so that you can see relations. And as these embeddings, as these data points are close to each other, they represent similar things. And it's a way for the knowledge base to be able to know if you ask it a question, what is a close response to it, right? Well, the text embedding small here has 1500 dimensional points to it. So this is a 3-dimensional X, Y, and Z. This is 3-dimensional. It's got 1500 dimensions coming out of it. And so it embeds it into that database so that I can get that data. And what it is embedding is right here. So it's gonna embed the date that this post was made. It's gonna embed the company that made the post. It's gonna embed what they said in that post, so the news. It's gonna tell the model it's a photo, and then it's gonna give a description of the photo and a link to the photo, right? And then it has all the metadata here, which is essentially the same thing, but it's just a way for the model to be able to know what it is it's looking at. And so that is a microcosm of what I've built out here. It's very complicated, especially if you're dealing with videos, because again, I can't scrape the transcript from a video. So what I end up having to do is pull in the video into this loop, download the video, upload it to a private YouTube channel, pull from the YouTube channel, get the transcript from the YouTube channel, transfer it from HTML into text, and then get a summary of the transcript, and then chunk out the transcript, and then embed it into the model, right? And then with this loop right here, Bill knows everything that's happened inside of that video transcript. So it gets super complicated. X videos mode. No, come on, Sarah, chill. Chill. Look, I'm not saying you guys should quote unquote smash that like button, but I mean, if you're here, let's go. Let's go, Steve. Let's go, Steve the Canadian. Smash that like button. We're actually at an equilibrium. 11 concurrent, 11 likes. So thank you all. I appreciate it. That is why I'm showing you guys all of this. So this entire model is how I am embedding all of the news from X into a database for Bill to be up to date on it. And I'll have this run every hour, every 30 minutes, whatever it comes to that is most efficient, but cost inhibitive or cost allowance for me. And then Bill will be able to answer everything that anyone wants to ask him about the news. And then as far as articles and YouTube, I'm taking this model here with the X videos and doing the exact same thing over again just for YouTube. And then I'll do the same thing over again for Instagram and the same thing over again for LinkedIn, right? And just repeat it over and over and over again. My state blocks that now. Yeah, let's go. It should. All those X video sites should be blocked. There's no reason to be viewing them, you perverts. Go ahead and save the workflow, even though I don't know what I changed there. And yeah, so does anyone have questions about what's going on here? Because after this is created, that's when we can go have those conversations with Bill. And it's not, again, the news, I have not given him this tool yet because I'm still working on it, but we can go look at the conversational model with Bill and show you guys that he can converse, which we've shown it before actually, so we don't necessarily need to. I was hoping I got it finished in time to show you guys the news live here today, but unfortunately it's going to take me through the weekend to do it because I had to go create some self-hosting, whatever, you guys don't care about that. I had to go do something that was like a little side quest in order to make it work, because I'm using the cloud version of N8N, and so it only held 1 minute and 15 seconds worth of each video. So I had to go do a self-hosted version and then upload it through the self-hosting version so I could do the entire videos, but that takes some time and it took a minute. You've Steve the Canadian's X video. But hell yeah. Hell yeah. So that's the build right now. And that'll be finished this weekend. And then we're good. Then he's got the knowledge base on all DeSci project white papers. And then he's got access to news. And then he's got access to price action. And then we work on the conversational model to make him sound smart AF, which is basically already there. And then we plug him into the Telegram and the Discord. And then he exists with all of you guys to backtest it and try and break it as much as possible. Howdy Yeti, welcome into the live stream. And then the cool part, are you ready for this? Well, actually, the cool part is after this is finished and you guys have tested it and tried to break it, and Dynex is finished with the QD LLM, all I have to do is replace the current models I'm using with the Dynex QD LLM, and then it all runs on Dynex's quantum large language model, or Dynex's quantum small language model, whatever you want to call it, which I've been thoroughly impressed as seeing you guys talk about it, Yeti, and seeing how the small language model is actually keeping on par with some of the larger language models, which is just showing that Dynex's small language model is leaps and bounds ahead of the other small language models out there. And that, I think, is just proof of the quantum impact. So exciting to see it. The wallet looks great, Yeti. We were talking about the wallet before we went into Bill's build. So signups are now open. I gave the link here. Should we pin it so that anyone coming in can see it? Hell yeah, we should. Hell yeah, boys. Demonstrate, NL. We're working on a 400 billion parameter laying model, biggest out there. That's crazy. That's crazy. I added you to the list of users for closed beta of QDLM. Let's go, Yeti. Size matters. Hell yeah, boy. Hell yeah. Let's see what Bill has to say about Dynex. What is Dynex? Dynex is a project focused on integrating quantum computing and decentralized technologies to create innovative solutions within the technology space. So see this? This is cool and this is good and I love this. This is too much text for a Telegram message, right? And so the infrastructure is there that makes it so that Bill knows everything about these projects, these companies, but I need to make it so that he can talk in his voice, which is super simple to do. It's just a matter of actually doing it, right? And since I've been so focused on making it sure that he's got up-to-date news and everything, yeah, it's just important that I get the accurate information before I give him that voice. And I've already trained the voice a good amount, especially for the X posts, but a Telegram voice is different than an X voice, right? If you're gonna make articles, that's a completely different voice than if you're gonna make a one-off tweet. And if you're gonna make a thread, that's a new voice compared to if you're gonna make a Telegram message. And if you're gonna do an announcement in Telegram, that's a different voice. Those are all different voices that you have to do. And so it takes a good amount of time to build all of those voices out. Now, individually, it doesn't take much time to build one of those voices, but when you have to do 20 different voices for 20 different use cases, that takes some time. And then when you have to create the master orchestra agent so that you can get in a message and then be able to point to which one of the voices to use, that also takes a good amount of time. But you can see it works pretty nicely here. Project is backed by ongoing public relations and strategic marketing activities to bolster its reputation in both academic and business landscapes. What should we ask? What's the price of 0x DNX? Because remember, it's using Dex Screener, so it doesn't know what the price of Dynex is of DNX. It only knows what the price of 0x DNX is, because DNX is not on Dex Screener, but 0x DNX is. Hell yeah. $3 million market cap, current volume $11,000. Trying desperately to hold that $3 million support line. And you can view more details of the trading pair here, and that's when it pulls up Dynex. Oh. Don't look at that. I'm just kidding. We look at it every day. Don't we, guys? C90, is there a story behind your tag in any way linked to the channel C90 Adventures? Ooh. Good question. C90 FTW. Fuck the what? What can you tell me about Myco DAO from BioDAO? Looks good so far, that investor. Hell yeah. Thank you, Yeti. Welcome in, Talkerid. Welcome to the live stream. Talkerid, did you know we go live Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? Talk about decentralized science and the broader crypto markets. Today we're talking about Bill. We're building Bill. It's taking a minute here. There we go. That's also part of it. In order for it to be a little bit quicker in its responses too, I want to make sure that it is... I want to make sure that it's not pulling so much information, right? It doesn't need that much information. Hope chart goes up soon. It will, one day. I've left comments on that guy's video, no relation. I know who he is though. Oh, that sounds sketchy. So Myco DAO, which is one of BioDAO's most recent DAOs that they're trying to raise for, is fungal research advancements, funding and development for Myco DAO, intent on developing decentralized technologies to leverage the untapped potential of fungi. We have governance structure. We have the tokenomics. So there's a limited total supply of 10.5 million Myco tokens with portions allocated for curators and community programs. Additional insight. So yeah, there's some data for you guys on it all. Check out SciDAO's last tweet. They have a breakthrough within Parkinson's. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Let's go look. SciDAO. Oh, probably should have just clicked on it. Yeah, there we go. Breakthrough alert 15 minutes ago, and then they posted this 6 minutes ago. I love it. One of the 34 holders of our Psych token is a researcher named Balaz. So if you guys didn't know, Psych has two tokens. They have Psy token and they have Psych token. Psych tokens are for the more loyal holders, right? He and UCSF TRPR team show mushrooms soothe Parkinson's symptoms in a unique new study. We're incredibly proud of our core team pushing boundaries in neuroscience. This is actually crazy. Look at this. Mario Nafal posted about this breakthrough. And we have, little do people know, that apparently someone from SciDAO is on the research team that helped in this breakthrough. That is amazing. A single dose of psilocybin, the psychedelic in magic mushrooms, dramatically improved mood, motor functions, and memory in Parkinson's patients. Effective effects that lasted for weeks. I love that. Absolutely love that. I thought I had some mushrooms next to me, but I do not. They must be in a different room. But love to see it. Magic mushrooms, microdosing on them, even megadosing in appropriate environments is incredibly beneficial. Incredibly beneficial. But only if you, as an individual, are in a good mental state to reap the benefits of it. It is amazing. Aha, figured it wasn't linked but had to know. I mean, the way that they said it, this is the first I'm hearing about it, but the way that they said it, he and UCSF, so the University of San Francisco, where the breakthrough came from, so they're saying right here that he was part of the team that posted this, that now Mario picked up on it. So really cool. Elon reposted the Mario Nafal tweet. If only people knew, right? If only, I mean, look at this. 141 views, 6 likes. If only people knew that a crypto project, a crypto community member, right, a loyal holder of the Psy token was involved in this research, right? SciDAO itself is not necessarily involved in it, but it doesn't mean that SciDAO can't then contribute to the research, right? If that loyal token holder, if the Psych holder goes to SciDAO and proposes some funds to help with the research, then all of a sudden SciDAO becomes part of this massive breakthrough and can potentially be part of the team that tokenizes the IP, right? This is huge. This is just another, it's just another proof of concept behind decentralized science, right? It's just another point in the camp of the fundamentals increasing behind what we're looking at. This is a massive, massive shift happening right in front of us in all of academia, in all of research and development for the world. And we get to be on the forefront of it. It's why it's so exciting. It's why I don't leave the space even when I lose $100,000, even when I lose multiple six figures in price as an investor. That sucks. But understanding that the technology or the movement that's happening on the underlying makes it a lot easier to withhold and move forward with it. Even when you start buying something and it goes down 50, 60, 70%, ultimately, if you understand the implications of what's coming with this technology and you understand that they're continuing to make moves in the industry, it makes it a lot easier to stomach those kinds of pullbacks because you know that in a long enough time horizon, it won't matter. If we continue to see breakthroughs like this coming from DAO token holders, we will see a massive onboarding of millions, potentially even billions of people into these DAOs. Now, billions is probably a little bit of a stretch because most of the people in the world don't give a fuck about research and development, but there is a large subset of people who are extremely passionate about it, especially after everything that happened with COVID. Now, I said a trigger word and the live stream is probably going to get a warning, but nonetheless, welcome in, Winos, welcome. I'm taking mushrooms next week in Canary Island for the first time. Hell yeah, Talkerid. Start doing some meditation now. For real. Start doing some meditation now to get ready for it. You want to have a clear mind. You want to have a good psyche going into those types of experiences. But that is probably going to be one of the best experiences that you have. They're so exciting. They're so much fun. You have to just remember that you have to go into these things with clear intentions, right? Don't just do it to try and just get high and have a good time. I mean, you can if you want to, but go into it with clear intentions of just trying to, literally, it doesn't matter what the intention is. Just go into it with a clear mind and understanding what you're doing. Because on the science side of what's happening with these psychedelics is mushrooms specifically are one of the few compounds. Mushrooms specifically contain one of the few compounds that actually grow neurons. So you can actually repair damage in your brain. You can also enhance the tunnels and the pathways that are being used in your brain with your day-to-day actions. So if you are depressed and you're thinking about all the negative sides of life and you take mushrooms, those pathways are going to grow because that's what you're using. But if you go into it with the positive outlook and thinking about how beautiful everything is, it will grow that as well. Mushrooms just are kind of like a cheat code to meditation. It makes it easier. Makes it a lot easier to meditate and become one with thyself. A little Buddhist talk for you guys. Any collab news between Dynex and Bill? Not anything new. I mean, if you scroll up in the chat a little bit, you can see that Yeti said, I'm on the list of users for the closed beta of the QD LLM. So that's exciting. As soon as it's ready, he said they're working on a 4 billion Lang model, which is huge. That is really, really cool. As soon as that's ready to go and they start doing the closed beta, then expect some cool advancements coming from Bill. But for the time being, we're just waiting on that model to be finished training. Remember, although it's a Lang model, let's look it up. What is a Lang model? AI. Oh, okay, yeah. An AI language model is that's not what I'm looking for specifically. Lang. Oh, that's what Lang. Large language model, 400 billion parameters. $400B Lang model. Oh well, we'll just wait. We'll just wait patiently for it. Check out Valley DAO's Cacao Zero project. Very interesting. I agree, David. Very interesting. Get that ashwagandha. Maybe. Probably going to be pretty difficult to get. No, if you go down, do it with the Sherman. Ashwagandha. I've not done that one yet, but one day maybe. Can you guys see the kitty? No, I know you guys can't see the kitty. You want to see the cat. He's sleeping next to a cat statue. Is it not going to focus? Come on. Okay, well the camera didn't want to focus. Can it focus on me though this time? There we go. He's just curled up on a little soundboard. What the hell? Valley Dow with that crazy spike a couple days ago. Whoa, wait a minute. You go look at Valley Dow, you see it pretty clearly here. It is definitely on that downtrend for people selling, but you can also see each spike has gotten incrementally larger. So maybe this next spike pushes it up a quick 10x here. We will see. Pump Science decided to test riff on cats. Did they really? That's crazy. All right, Stare. Mods. Mods. What is the name? Beagle, I didn't come up with his name. His name is Bear Bear, which I don't really enjoy having a perma reza bear in the house. I really honestly think that it's a bad idea, but since he's showed up in the house, actually, the markets have been going up. So I do have to acknowledge his presence has been pretty helpful. Since the perma bear became a resident in the house, we've actually seen markets go up. It's been like a month now. So, I'm walking on a trail right now and just keep hearing the dog breathing like it was real life. Just Sophie. C90 not driving for once, for real. He's walking on an outdoor trail. It is Fitness Friday, guys. So everyone make sure you guys are taking care of yourselves. What's the point of making all this money or losing all this money if you're not gonna be around to use it? For real though. All right, one last thing that I really wanted to pull up with you guys is the global liquidity. So if you guys have more questions about Bill, I'm happy to answer them. I should have posted that we were going live in the Bill chat, so that's my fault, my bad, guys. I'll try and post the live stream after so that everyone there can go see for reference. But this is global liquidity chart. It is one of the things that everyone feels is driving the price of Bitcoin higher. In my opinion, while we are tracking global liquidity pretty closely, just back by 15 weeks, we need to see liquidity continue to truck higher and higher. So this breakout of global liquidity to all-time highs today, $84 trillion in global liquidity, is really good to see. Bitcoin right now is currently sitting in this area of the reversal. And so we want to see probably a little bit of a pullback here and then a quick spike to all-time highs over the next couple of weeks here. And then consolidation around all-time highs. We want to see liquidity continue to go higher. Even though there's a lag, and you would assume that even if global liquidity all of a sudden started trending down, that we should still see Bitcoin trend higher for a little bit. I imagine because everyone is watching global liquidity so closely here, that if liquidity were to start trending down, Bitcoin would likely not continue that uptrend. It would probably start to top out a little bit sooner than liquidity. Now let's do the overlay on the Bitcoin chart. So we'll go to Bitcoin and then we'll click on this and get the all-time history index to remove some of the noise. And then we will overlay global liquidity right here. And so you can see liquidity is continuing to go higher, just as we were talking about. I'm lining up the bottom with the bottom and the top with the top here. So we should see Bitcoin pushing upwards of 130,000 here with this pump, but we want to see this continue to go higher. We really do. So I'm excited to see where we can actually go, and it looks like it's going to be a quick rally. And then hopefully our altcoins can bounce. Hopefully. It would be great to have a weekly update of Bill and a video recapping points. I'll try and get... That's a good idea. The video recap is probably a good idea too. I just haven't been making any video content recently. As soon as I'm finished with the initial release of V2 for Bill, I think I'll be able to manage doing videos again. But for the time being, I'm really just focused in on building Bill. And it is a little bit painful because I love making the videos, but nonetheless. Let's see. Bottomed 100 days prior. And so if we go back 100 days from here, we'll see that we're actually only in this first rally here. We're actually looking like it's right here. So we probably have a good chunk higher to move before we get that big consolidation around all-time highs. And then a quick, swift move above all-time highs, and then consolidation for a while. And then a quick pump up to 130,000, and then consolidation. So, yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Your time, it's your most valuable asset. I appreciate you guys being here with me. And I hope that you guys take advantage of the good weather on Friday, as apparently this weekend we're getting a lot of winter storms. Winter storms? The fuck? Spring storms, summer storms, where it's raining. It's overcast right here, right now, hence the dog hiding underneath the desk, panting like a madman. I'll see you guys on Monday's live stream and, of course, in the group chats. So, peace out.